Okay, so following a fan vote on the channel in regards to the football club histories, we're looking at Welsh clubs, and I put 4 Welsh clubs up. Which one should be the first Welsh club that I do a video on in regards to history? That was Cardiff, Swansea, Newport County and Wrexham. And the majority said Newport County. So here's a brief history of Newport County Association Football Club. Newport County has a very interesting history. They never entered the Welsh League system, which is important. They were founded in 1912. 100 years after foundation, they moved to their current stadium, which is Rodney Parade, which is also a ground share with the Newport Gwent Dragons of the United Rugby Championship, currently seating 7,850. But from foundation, they joined the Southern League. And until 1920, they're in the Southern League format. And after World War I, as we've discovered in many of these club histories, the Southern League, a lot of clubs leave the Southern League and join the Football League. And for 68 years, they're a Football League club. Between 1920 and 1988, they play in the Football League, and they do win silverware. Although it happens to be Welsh silverware, they do win silverware, whilst they are a Football League club. By 1989, they've gone bust. They've also been relegated out of the Football League at this point. They go bust early on in 1989 in February. They reform, and they end up in the Hellenic League from the 1989-1990 season. And it is a very long-winded journey via the Southern League Midland Division. Then they end up in the Conference South in 2004, which is now National League South. They're champions of that in 2009-2010 season. So it took a long time for them to get out of the old Conference South, which is now the National League South. It only takes them 3 years to get out of the National League, and in 2013 they do return to the Football League. So that was 25 years they spent in the non-league, and they had to reform in that time. They did have financial issues. They had to change stadium in that time. They took the nickname the Exiles for a brief period because they lost their old home ground, which is why they're at Rodney Parade. But as I say, they've never been part of the Welsh League system, which is very, very important when it comes to their silverware that they've actually won. So, before 1996, Welsh clubs that played in the English League system, such as Cardiff, Swansea, Wrexham and Newport, Merthyr Tydfil, could enter the Welsh Cup. Now, they win the Welsh Cup in the 1979-1980 season, and by virtue of winning the Welsh Cup, they are allowed to enter the Cup Winners' Cup in the 80-81 season. So they actually had some time playing in Europe. They were runners-up in the Welsh Cup in the 62-63 season and in the 86-87 season, not long before they get relegated out of the Football League and ultimately are liquidated and reformed. They also, following 1996, the FAW, Football Association of Wales, after excluding the English-based Welsh clubs that play in the English League system, including Newport County, they set up the Premier Cup as a sort of replacement for the Welsh Cup that these teams have now been excluded from. We can discuss the pros and cons of that exclusion. And they win the FAW Premier Cup in the 2007-2008 season. This competition now no longer exists. It's a former competition, but they were runners-up twice in the 2002-2003 season and the 2006-2007 season. When they were in the non-league, not long before they get promotion back to the Football League, they also were runners-up in the FA Trophy, which they were runners-up in the 2011-2012 season. Newport County is a cautionary tale about how long it can take to get back to the Football League when you get relegated. So, if you are an Oldham Athletic fan, for example, it could be a very, very long wait. Torquay United, Boston United, Barnet. There's a lot of clubs. Wrexham have taken a very long time and got very, very close to getting back to the Football League last season. Stockport County fans will tell you it was a very long stint in the non-league. Newport County is one of those cautionary tales about the financial penalties of getting relegated out of the Football League as well. The loss of income hurts. And yes, they did go bust early on in 1989 and had to reform. And they dropped down to the Hellenic League. They lost their home ground. They were classed as the Exiles. Now they do play at Rodney Parade, and yes, it is really a rugby union stadium. Let's not kid ourselves. It's not really a football stadium. The layout of the stadium isn't great, but it's unique and it has its own character. But it is a rugby union stadium. But it is very interesting, their story from the Football League to the non-league back to the Football League, and the fact that as a Welsh club they have never played in the Welsh League system, yet they have won silverware in Wales, which they're now excluded from. So there you go. Now, before we leave, their big rivals, Cardiff City and Swansea City and Wrexham, Merthyr Tydfil, obviously. Bristol Rovers, just across the River Severn, not a bad shout, but not Bristol City, which I find interesting. Cheltenham Town, And Forest Green Rovers get a rivalry mention that fans dislike from their non-league days. And I've got to do a video on Forest Green Rovers, and that's going to be a very interesting video because they've not been a Football League club for very long. And they have a tiny stadium. But there we go. There's a brief history of Newport County Association Football Club. 25 years in the non-league. Most of my lifetime they spent in the non-league. 2/3 of the time I've been alive, they were a non-league club. And they've only been back in the Football League for nine years. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see if they can ever get out of League Two and work their way back up the Football League pyramid. And also, the FA of Wales' decision to bar the Welsh clubs that play in the English League system from the Welsh Cup. Is that the correct decision? Is that an incorrect decision? Does that harm the Welsh game? Because Newport County have won the Welsh Cup before, and could that help grow the Welsh game by inviting those Welsh clubs back into the Welsh Cup competition? Who knows? But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please place your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll have some more content for you very, very soon.